Our conditions bullish in this bull market. Bull market rank sitting at 26.40. That represents this momentum here. We're at the upper end of this range. And when we get a bull market, this crosses over zero and moves this direction. You can see this upper end of this range is around 5. Even 10 historically has been pretty high, and we're at 25. So we've had a really powerful rally sitting at the upper end of this rally. And continuing to see some nice confirmation on upside here with a buy-sell ratio sitting at 2, and that is a solid move with green above red, giving bulls the control, or bulls showing that they're in control of the breadth of this market. Currently, we are extended to the upside on sentiment here at 90. Traditionally, that is definitely an overbought area. Doesn't necessarily mean a full reversal, but it does mean that we could see a pause right here going back the last 3 years. You can see the upper end of that range is now in that overbought condition. SPY, you can see that here. We've got extreme up in that 202 area, and on momentum, the S&P 500 and most indices don't get this extreme this quickly, and so we've had just this really nice kind of emotional rally here for bulls, and we'll see if we get some confirmation of any kind going forward without some kind of retracement. More than likely, we'll see some kind of retracement. We could potentially pull back to that 586 range, or even just to this gap higher around that 590 range. But so far, continuing to plug higher. Let's take a look at let's look at bonds here. We're seeing bonds. That's been a talking point for us, starting to show some support and stabilizing here around this $90 range on TLT. Remember that we're looking for bonds to go up in order for interest rates to come back down again. So we've seen that sell-off here where interest rates have been going higher as bonds have been moving lower, but now we're starting to see some kind of potential bottoming here, or at least some support in both the long bond, TLT, and SHY, which is the short bond. If we jump over and take a look at sectors, seeing some nice confirmation here in sectors as well. We're getting the majority now back into that buy zone. Not as many in hold and sell. And one of the other things I wanted to point out here, when you've got some of these leading ETF sectors and you want to take a look at some of the stocks inside of those sectors, just a quick way is if you go to this more button and go out to news, that'll actually out to this Yahoo page, and you can click on, it'll show you this ETF, and if you click on holdings, right, it'll show that ETF has got Amazon, Tesla, Home Depot, Netflix, Walmart. So if you're looking for diversification in an ETF that holds a bunch of these names, that's a quick way to jump over and look to see, okay, what is the consumer service sector and what stocks are included in that. And you can see some really fantastic names in that group as well. That's from this sectors tab here, and then essentially just focusing on any one of these individual sectors. They are going to include all of the stocks in that sector, so you can just buy the entire sector by buying any of these ETFs here. Commodities, let's jump over. You can seeing a pretty broad-based sell-off in commodities. Gold getting beat up here a little bit here, now moving back down into that downtrend, breaking through support at this 236 area, more than likely looking for some support at that 240 area on GLD. See if we get a bounce right here. Seeing that also in silver. And so just this commodity run, basic materials getting a bit of a pause right here. USO also seeing retracement. So those three that we talk about each morning, we're seeing some pretty decent retracement and seeing nice moves in stocks here to the upside. Let's jump over and look at some muscle stocks in this new buy list. Remember to use the muscle stock group. This is going to be stocks that are, for the vast majority, they're already in buy signals, but you can look and see if some of these stocks just continue to move higher. So you get WLF. So as you're scrolling through and looking through some of these stocks that are starting to take off, you're going to get a really big, nice looking group. Sometimes you will see stocks still in that buy zone, but having a bit of a pullback, opportunities for a bit of a retracement in there as well. LENZ having continued to move. SMR and nuclear working really nicely. SMT back into that new buy zone on the muscle stocks group. So keep an eye on those. They move aggressively, but these are those stocks that we're looking for. Their new technology, new ideas, and they take off pretty quickly. And oftentimes the new buy group will pull in We saw that Summit stock right here, and you can see that now it's the top of that list. It's now a muscle stock, high rank stock, moving from hold back to buy. I did want to point out a couple a little deeper in the list right here. RSI, which is a gaming stock, nice confirmation bar and increased volume. On that 1 year time frame, you can see just about to break out around that $11 zone. That's RSI, nice looking pattern. Also looking at PAHC in the medical product space, also good confirmation bar in momentum with increased volume, and a couple of stock ideas for you to consider today. That'll do it for today's update. Have a fantastic day today.